was to be known as Deadwood Gulch. They made their way to the bottom and began to pan for gold. Soon the cry of gold echoed up and down the canyon walls. They hastily built a crude cabin east of their find, but nevertheless went on to prospect throughout the northern hills, only to return on November 8, 1875, to post a claim of their discovery. On the very next day, November 9, 1875, a second group filed a claim just short of 3 miles up the creek. This outlined a stretch that was destined to become known as the richest placer claim area, not only in North America, but the entire Western Hemisphere. As news of this bonanza leaked out, the rush was on, resulting in a flood of mankind from all directions. The Army could no longer stop the invasion of the fortune hunters. By August 2nd of 1876, Deadwood Gulch, now known as Deadwood City, and often referred to as Sin City, had acquired a worldwide reputation as a booming metropolis. Its surrounding hills and creeks were loaded with gold. Even greenhorns were said to be able to find nuggets, well, as they put it, bigger than horse turds. Its streets were lined with substantial businesses, offering everything from an opera house to dance halls, saloons and banks, stores of every sort, saloons and gambling dens. Deadwood Gulch was jam-packed with every variety of mankind, good and bad. The likes of Wild Bill Hickok, Seth Boyd, Wyatt Earp, Calamity Jane, Colorado Charlie Utter, California Joe, and Preacher Smith. Somewhere between 4,000 to 6,000 of them. They came with greed or lust and high ideals, but the frenzied excitement that Deadwood provided well satisfied their pioneer spirits. 2 guys named Nuttall and Mann couldn't picture themselves seeking their fortune as prospectors, and instead built a house on their placer claim, number 10, which became known as Saloon Number 10. On the morning of August 2nd, 1876, Harry Young was tending bar in number 10.
Nice and loud, nice and mean.
His hair was greased, as was customary for bartenders in gold camps. This was essential as part of a method used by bartenders to collect a little extra loot for themselves. Before reaching into a prospector's coat for a pinch of gold to collect for a given whiskey, the bartender would rub his fingers through his greasy hair, thus oiling it well. He would deposit the unoiled gold dust into the boss's cake, and by again rubbing his fingers through his hair, redeposit the oily flakes where it could be washed out later. It's said that there was a bald-headed barkeep who was known to have half a dozen hair pieces, all well oiled. His take was enormous, as the laundering process was more efficient. The dance hall girls had arrived on Colorado Charlie Utter's wagon train in late June, ready and willing to entertain the thousands of eligible prospectors. Some came with hopes of finding the right man. Others came simply to make their own fortune. Their attire, somewhat more revealing than what was thought to be proper, was looked down upon by those trained in ladylike etiquette, but nonetheless, they brought to the gold rush an air of reckless, dazzling excitement. By August 2nd, 1876, they were well established up and down Deadwood City's main street, working around the clock in one fashion or the other. Honky-tonk piano and their songs of promising spirit filled the air. Many an unlucky prospector could find hope for tomorrow, for he knew what the night would bring. About 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Wild Bill Hickok, saloon number 10.
Oh, it's Wild Bill!
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, come on and
Charlie
join
Rich,
us!
I'll tell you what, deal me in, I'll be there in a second, I gotta get a
saloon number 10,
that whiskey,
and
Harry.
Captain Massey, a riverboat captain from Missouri, were engaged in a game of draw poker and were quick to invite Bill to join them.
What are you gonna do? Are you gonna...
Appreciate that.
Wild Bill's reputation demanded that he be exceedingly cautious. For instance, he never liked to sit with his back to the door. The vacant seat was so located, and a lively debate between Charlie Rich and Bill resulted in an attempt on Bill's part to get Charlie's chair.
Charlie, get out of my chair!
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, get out of my chair!
No way.
What do you mean, no way?
I said
Bill
no
was
way.
not given his request,
Get out of
and
my
judging him with great hesitation.
No, I sit there, you know it,
But
get
after a
out!
few minutes, he
I'm not
stood
getting
up
out.
and again asked Charlie for his chair.
I don't want you playing either.
Dang it, Charlie, I can't sit here. You know it. Now get out of that chair now.
Sitting with his back to the
We got a
door.
hot game going here.
Wariness, though, kept Bill
Fine,
alert.
take your money and
For all
I'll take
knew
your
him to be a
chair,
left-handed
Charlie.
drinker,
What's
leaving
the
his
matter
right
with this
hand
guy,
free to
Carl?
handle his
Has he
pistol.
been that way all day?
As unpredictable as
Yeah.
card games are, Bill found himself quickly losing to Massey, who lost to Bill the night
Yeah,
before.
sure.
Bill asked Harry for $15 worth of pocket checks.
I'd better
Harry
give
brought him over to Bill
$15,
and
Harry.
returned to the bar
Thank
and
you
his
so much.
duties.
Appreciate it. Alright.
You better put
Soon,
card
a
in there
shifty,
if you're gonna
drifting
Oh, what
old
we
Jack
got?
McCall entered the saloon. Bill quickly turned while drawing his gun. Recognizing McCall as a newcomer to town, he greeted him with a friendly,
Howdy, Jack.
then
He
reholstered
was
his
in here
gun
last night
and
playing
resumed the
cards.
game.
Can't believe he came back today.
Jack slowly circled the table, pausing briefly behind each player and analyzing each
Come
hand.
on, let's play here.
Let's play a good
Hey!
game. Hey,
What are you looking at? We don't need you lurking. Get out of here. Get.
don't be so
Yeah,
mean.
guys.
Don't be so mean.
Hey, how about trying
I
to
think
While
you're
Bill's
the big
attention was on
blunder,
Massey,
Charlie.
there was a friendly argument
I
between
just
them,
start
and
playing.
while
Yeah,
Bill
you're
remarked,
Wipe my head off and tell me I'm mean. Can you believe that, Carl?
upon returning directly behind Wild Bill, suddenly Jack
Yeah,
McCall,
me too.
Take that,
the
Jane!
bullet struck Bill in the back of the head, coming out of his left cheek and lodged in Captain Massey's left arm. It was discovered soon after the cards Bill was holding were aces and aces, forever known as the dead man's hand.
Still
All
shot!
fled the saloon except Carl Mann, who was held at bay by McCall. Jack snapped the trigger of his gun several times. It failed to fire. He then ran out the door and up the street. He was found hiding in a building behind a butcher's shop. Later on in the day, he was tried in a minor's court. The jury, being tainted and influenced by a deceitful defense, found McCall not guilty, and he was released. This decision not only outraged the judge, but also the general populace. McCall left the camp in haste. Upon reaching supposed safety in Wyoming, he began bragging of his ignoble deed. Word of this reached the U.S. Marshal, who tracked McCall down, arrested him, and sent him to Yankton to be tried again in Dakota Territory. It was determined, since the first trial was held in Indian Territory, that it was not legal. McCall was found guilty and hung for his cowardly crime. He was buried in an unmarked grave on the edge of town. Later, as the town grew, the cemetery was moved. As the coffins were opened, one corpse was found with a rope around its neck. It was easily identified as Jack McCall, the assassin of Wild Bill.
Look, every volunteer did a great job. Thank you so much. You're awesome. Oh, I'm blaming you for everything, Charlie. Thank you. Yeah, talk to HR. Thank you. Hey, we'll be up here for a little while. If you guys like a picture with me or Jack.